Invocation prayers, please.
Can I do, Prabhu?
Go ahead, Mother Chandra.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjala-shalakaya Sadguru Anmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovisyam Sthabinam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tatante Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Yudapatakamanam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sak Shri Rupam Sakrajadam Saguna Raghunandavidam Jadaivam Satvaitam Savadudam Parijana Sakidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sakagana Lalitam Sri Vishakam Vichamcha Ye Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpare Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णव्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming. So today we will cover Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24 from verse number 33 onwards, where we'll discuss the Rudra Gita. Verses 33 to 68 are the verses of Rudra Gita. We may not be able to finish all the verses today. We'll try whatever we can and rest at our next class. And then the following class, which will be on January 10th and 17th, will revise Unit 18 chapters plus the Chapter 24. Many of you have already chosen the slots. Thank you. There are still a couple of slots open. So we'll discuss towards the end of the class. The context is that in this Canto 4, Chapter 24, first the genealogical line of Prithu Maharaj is described. And one important point we discussed last time, that always meditating on the order of spiritual master is perfect meditation and the secret of success. So Lord Shiva is pleased with the prachetas, even without prachetas asking for Lord Shiva's darshan and association. Shiva himself has come and is giving his association and darshan because Shiva knows that prachetas are going to worship the Supreme Lord. Lord Shiva blesses the asuras simply for the sake of formality. But Lord Shiva actually loves the devotees of Krishna who are devoted to the Supreme Lord. So, Chapter 24 is titled The Chanting, the song sung by Lord Shiva, which is essentially Rudra Gita. So this part 3, verses 33 to 68, is the Rudra Gita. So I sent to all of you a shell template, an Excel document, which I also have on the screen, which you can use to populate uh, the respective verses or print or just write down in those various columns. Can make a template of 5 columns if you don't have the printed or the Excel in front of you. So column 1 is verse number, then column 2 is DT, column 3 is DT of, column 4 is function of the DT, and the last column is purpose of the prayer. So we will first populate this chart and then we will come back to verses to discuss. So I'll go slightly slower to populate and then we will come back. We'll of course be discussing or reading the verses, not discussing, but we'll read the verses one by one and populate the chart. So dear Aditi, able to read Canto 4, Chapter 24, verse 33? Translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I would read on behalf.
Okay.
Lord Shiva addressed the Supreme Personality of Godhead with the following prayer. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, all glories unto you. You are the most exalted of all self-realized souls. Since you are always auspicious for the self-realized, I wish that you be auspicious for me. You are worshipable by virtue of the all perfect instructions you give. You are the super soul. Therefore, I offer my obeisances unto you as a supreme living being. Hare Krishna.
So what Lord Shiva is going to do in these Rudra Gita verses is that for his purification, Lord Shiva is offering obeisances to the Lord as well as to the presiding deities of the elements. So let's populate verse number 33. Now, verse number 33, the first 4 columns, there's nothing to populate. It's only the last column under purpose of prayer. You have the Lord's qualities and the purpose of prayer. That's the only column we'll populate here. So the Lord's quality is that you are the best self-realized. You are always auspicious for the self-realized. And second point under quality is you are worshipable by virtue of all perfect instructions you give. The purpose of the prayer first is, let me also have that auspicious condition. And second point, let me have the perfection by worshipping you. And now we'll go to verse number 34. We'll read and then we'll come back and populate. Although for verse number 34 as a sample, I have already populated the chart that I gave you. Shivangi, 34 translation.
My Lord, you are the origin of the creation by virtue of the lotus flower which sprouts from your navel. You are the supreme controller of the senses and the sense objects, and you are also the all-pervading Vasudeva. You are most peaceful, and because of your self-illuminated existence, you are not disturbed by the 6 kinds of transformations. Hare Krishna.
So verse 34, the deity under column deity is Vasudev, the all-pervading Vasudev. under the column dt of is the consciousness or the chitta. The column function of the deity is that he is controller of senses and sense objects. And the purpose of the prayer is that please make my chitta peaceful and unchanging and make it conscious of bhakti by revealing your beauty. In this manner, we'll populate all the columns. There are few nuances in the columns, and therefore some of the columns are laid out differently. But basically what he is doing is Lord Shiva is offering prayers to his chitta, then to his ego, to his mind, then to the various elements. He's just glorifying and offering obeisances to all of them. So from next verse onwards, you all will populate. I will explain and you all will populate your chart. Everybody with me? Questions, comments, realizations?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, the first one, would you please repeat? There was a glitch in my listening.
First one as in what are you saying?
33, deity.
Okay. 33 or
33.
so
33. Verse
33 I say, verse 33 I say, the first four columns there is nothing to populate. It's only under the purpose of the prayer, Lord's quality, there are 2 points, and purpose of the prayer, there are 2 points. So I'll repeat that for 33 verse, under Lord's quality, he's saying, you are best of the self-realized. You are all auspicious for the self-realized. And second point under Lord's quality is, you are worshipable by virtue of all perfect instructions you give. And then purpose of the prayer, first point is, let me also have that auspicious condition. And second point under purpose of prayer is, let me have the perfection by worshipping you. Is that clear?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
All right. Chandran Prabhu, 35 translation.
Hare Krishna. Text 35. My dear Lord, you are the origin of the subtle material ingredients, the master of all integration as well as the master of all disintegration. The predominating deity named Sankarsana and the master of all intelligence known as the predominating deity Pradyumna. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Hare Krishna.
So under 35, the deity is Sankarshana, master of integration. Sankarshana is deity of false ego or ahankar. So under third column, deity of false ego, ahankar. Function of the deity is master of disintegration or destroyer of universe. Purpose of the prayer is bind my possessiveness to the Lord and my ego to my true identity as his devotee. Verse 35 also has the deity Pradyumna, responsible for universal growth. So under deity of is intelligence or buddhi. Pradyumna is the deity of intelligence. Under function of deity is enlightener of the universe. And purpose of the prayer, wake up my intelligence so that it will situate me in bhakti. Mother Jija, verse 36, translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you please repeat the purpose of prayer in the first one again, Sankarsana Prabhu?
Okay.
Bind my possessiveness to the Lord.
I will repeat. For Sankarsana, purpose of the prayer is bind my possessiveness to the Lord and my ego to my true identity as his devotee. Mother Jija, 36, translation.
My Lord, text 36 translation. My Lord, as the supreme directing deity, known as Aniruddha, you are the master of senses and the mind. I therefore offer my obeisances unto you again and again. You are known as Ananta as well as Sankarshana because of your ability to destroy the whole creation by the blazing fire from your mouth. Hare Krishna.
So for 36, under deity is Aniruddha, supreme director. Under deity of is mind, mana. Aniruddha is the deity of mind. Function of the deity, director of the mind, which is the chief of all senses. Purpose of the prayer, attract my mind to Lord's lotus feet through bhakti alone and keep it in the perfect state of cleanliness. So there is an overlap for verse 36 and 37. So we'll first read 37 and then we'll populate the columns you have for 36, 37. There are two rows for that. Gopal, 37 translation.
Hare Krishna. Text 37 translation. My Lord, O Aniruddha, you are the authority by which the doors of the higher planetary systems and liberation are opened. You are always within the pure heart of the living entity. Therefore, I offer my obeisances unto you. You are the proposer of semen, which is like gold, thus in the form of fire. You help the Vedic sacrifices, beginning with Ch24. Therefore, I offer my obeisances unto you. Hare Krishna.
So under 36, 37, the deity is Surya, which is Aniruddha's expansion. Deity of eye, our eyesight, eye. Function of the deity is constantly nourishes the jiva by rain, etc. And doors to heaven and liberation. Purpose of the prayer is May my eyes be purified to see the form of the Lord. And another row for 36-37 under DT is Agni. And is DT of speech. Function of the DT is accomplishes the actions of the four priests and expands the fire of sacrifice. Purpose of the prayer: engage my words in chanting the glories of the Lord. Uncle will read 38 translation.
Hare Krishna. Text 38. My Lord, you are the provider of the Pitralokas as well as all the demigods. You are the predominating deity of the moon and master of all the three Vedas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you because you are the original source of satisfaction for all living entities. Hare Krishna.
So for 38 under DT is Soma, master of three Vedas or worlds. Master of three Vedas or master of three worlds. So under DT off, you have two rows. One is mind, and the function of the DT under the row mind is provider of Pitralokas as well as all the demigods. Purpose of the prayer: please purify my debts to the Pitas, demigods, sages, and jivas, and completely engage my mind in bhakti. For verse 38, you have another row. So the DT stays the same, Soma, master of three Vedas or three worlds. And under DT off is taste. Function of the DT: giver of taste for the jivas and the form of all taste. Purpose of the prayer: make my tongue taste the sweetness of things related to the Lord. Let me not taste anything except prasadam. The Chandra Aunty, 39 translation.
Text 39 translation. My dear Lord, you are the gigantic universal form which contains all the individual bodies of the living entities. You are the maintainer of the three worlds, and as such, you maintain the mind, senses, body, and air of life within them. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Hare Krishna.
So for 39, you have 3 rows. First is under deity, Hiranyagarbha. Deity of embodiment of earth. Function of the deity contains all souls of all living beings. The second row under deity is Virat Rupa. Deity of stays the same, embodiment of earth. Function is form of all elements. Purpose of prayer to Hiranyagarbha and Virat Rupa is stimulate my nose to smell the fragrance of the Lord. Engage my body and all senses in Lord's service. Under 39, you have row number 3. Under deity is Vayu. Deity of is air. Function, protector of three worlds, who maintains the mind, senses, and body. Purpose, make the mind, senses, body suitable for worshipping the Lord. Stimulate my touch to feel the softness of Lord's body. Verse number 40, Kalyani or Sridhar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, verse number 40. My dear Lord, by expanding your transcendental vibrations, you reveal the actual meaning of everything. You are the all-pervading sky within and without, and you are the ultimate goal of pious activities executed both within this material world and beyond it. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances again and again unto you.
So under deity is Nabha or ether. dt of sound. Function, you have 3 points. Reveal the actual meaning of everything. Second, supports everything internally and externally. Third, the ultimate goal of pious acts both in the world and beyond. Purpose of the prayer: make my ears hear about the beauty of the Lord. Reveal the meaning of name, mantra, and bhakti scriptures. So what has happened so far is that in verses 33, 34, 35, and 36, Lord Shiva offered respects to controlling deities of consciousness, ego, buddhi, and intelligence. And then Lord Shiva is offering respects to presiding deities of the elements of the world. Everybody with me so far? Questions, comments, realizations? All right, so now 41, 42, Shivangi.
Hare Krishna. My dear Lord, you are the viewer of the results of pious activities, your inclination, disinclination, and their resultant activities. You are the cause of the miserable conditions of life caused by irreligion, and therefore you are death. I offer you my respectful obeisances. My dear Lord, you are the topmost of all bestowers of benediction, the oldest and supreme enjoyer amongst all enjoyers. You are the master of all the world's metaphysical philosophy, for you are the supreme cause of all causes, Lord Krishna. You are the greatest of all religious principles, the supreme mind, and you have a brain which is never checked by any condition. Therefore, I repeatedly offer my obeisances unto you.
So the columns dt and dt of, they are combined and you are populating Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, giver of inspiration and all results. And the columns function of the deity and purpose of the prayers are also combined. You have 12 points to write. First, instigator of dharma. Second, giver of results of worshipping Pitras. Third, giver of results of irreligious acts. Fourth, giver of death and miseries. Fifth, topmost of benedictors. Sixth, supreme Manu. Seven, perfection of all kinds of mantras. Eight, cause of all causes. Nine, greatest of all religious principles. 10, one whose mind is never checked. 11, the primeval person. 12th, master of Sankhya principle. And I offer my respects unto you. Chandran 43 translation.
Hare Krishna. 43 translation. My dear Lord, you are the supreme controller of the worker. Sense activities and results of sense activities, karma. Therefore, you are the controller of the body, mind, and senses. You are also the supreme controller of egotism, known as Rudra. You are the source of knowledge and the activities of the Vedic injections. Hare Krishna.
So for 43, under deity is Lord Shiva, deity of false ego, ahankar. Function, there are four functions. First, a reservoir of three kinds of energies. Adidaiva, Adhyatma, Adibhuta. So Adideva is demigods. Adhyatma is senses. And Adibhuta are the elements. Second, source of egotism. Third, form of knowledge and senses. Fourth, revealer of the Vedas. Purpose of the prayer? May the Lord's mercy purify false ego so that real ego can be awakened. Meaning the soul performing devotional service. Everybody populated the chart.
Honestly, Prabhuji, there are some parts I have missed, but I am going to request you to send today's proceedings so that I will fill up that.
Yeah, you can, whosoever missed anything, you can get the recording and populate from the recording. All right. So what has Shiva done so far is that in verses 33, 34, 35, 36, first Shiva offered respects to the Lord and to the controlling deities of consciousness, ego, intelligence, and the mind. And then Lord Shiva also offers respects to presiding deities of the various elements. So now we will go back and discuss few important points from some of the verses. So verse number 34, purport, Prabhupada describes there are 6 kinds of transformations that agitate the conditioned souls. Meaning, souls become agitated when they are hungry, when they are thirsty, when they are aggrieved, when illusioned, when they grow old, and when they are on deathbed. And Prabhupada says, although conditioned souls become very easily illusioned by these conditions in the material world, the Supreme Lord as the Super Soul, Vasudeva, is never agitated by these transformations. In verses 35, 36, the purports are longer. You can read them later on. I will briefly summarize. Verse 35, 36 describe the role of Sankarshana is that he is the master of integration and disintegration of the universes. Pradyumna, another feature of Lord Vasudeva, is responsible for universal growth and maintenance. The mind is the director of senses, and Lord Anirudh is the director of the mind. Lord Anirudh is also the sun god by virtue of his expansions. Expansion. So by offering these prayers from verses 33 to 43 to the Lord and to the presiding deities of the senses, the elements, in this way, Lord Shiva purified his body and senses and mind. And now Lord Shiva is qualified to offer prayers to the Lord. So verses 44 to 52 describe the Lord's glorious form. So understand that Lord Shiva is reciting this Rudra Gita to the Prachetas because Prachetas are going to do the meditation. So just as Narad Muni described the form of the Lord for Dhruv Maharaj to meditate, similarly, Lord Shiva describes the Lord's bodily features for meditation. So the verses start with Lord's form as collection of all beauty. Mother Jija, 44 to 46 translations.
Text 44. My dear Lord, I wish to see you exactly in the form that your very dear devotees worship. You have many other forms, but I wish to see your form that is especially liked by the devotees. Please be merciful upon me and show me that form, for only that form worshipped by the devotees can perfectly satisfy all the demands of the senses. Text 45 and 46. The Lord's beauty resembles a dark cloud during the rainy season. As the rainfall glistens, his bodily features also glisten. Indeed, he is the sum total of all beauty. The Lord has 4 arms and an exquisitely beautiful face with eyes like lotus petals, a beautiful, highly raised nose, a mind attracting smile, a beautiful forehead, and equally beautiful and fully decorated ears. Hare Krishna.
In verse number 45-46, in the purport, Prabhupada explains the difference between Pancharatrika Vidhi and the Bhagavad Vidhi. We'll read verse 45, 46 purport. Pretty long purport. Gopal Prabhu, 45-46 purport.
Hare Krishna. Purport 45-46. After the scorching heat of the summer season, it is very pleasing to see dark clouds in the sky. As confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, Barhavatsam Astimbuda Sundarangam. The Lord wears a peacock feather in his hand, and his bodily complexion is just like a blackish cloud. The word Sundara or Singda means very pleasing. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya. Krishna beauty is so pleasing that not even millions upon millions of cupids can compare to it. The Lord's form as Vishnu is decorated in all opulence. Therefore, Lord Shiva is trying to see that most opulent form of Narayana or Vishnu. Generally, the worship of the Lord begins with the worship of Narayana or Vishnu, whereas the worship of Lord Krishna and Radhas is most confidential. Lord Narayana is worshipable by the Pancharatrika Vidhi or regulative principles, whereas Lord Krishna is worshipable by the Bhagavad Gita Vidhi. No one can worship the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita Vidhi without going through the regulations of the Pancharatrika Vidhi. Actually, neophyte devotees worship the Lord according to the Panchatrika Vidhi or the regulative principles enjoyed in the Narada Pancharatna. Radha Krishna cannot be approached by the neophyte devotees. Therefore, temple worship according to the regulative principles is offered to Lakshmi Narayana. Although there may be a Radha Krishna Vigraha or form, the worship of the neophyte devotees is acceptable as Lakshmi Narayana worship. Worship according to the Panchatrika Vidhi is called Vidhi Marga. And the worship according to Bhagavata Vidhi principle is called Raga Marga. The principles of Raga Marga are especially meant for devotees who are elevated to the Vrindavana platform.
Okay, so Gopal Prabhu read as Bhagavad Gita Vidhi. It's not Bhagavad Gita, but it is Bhagavad Vidhi. So that the comparison is done between Pancharatrika Vidhi, which means following rules and regulations, and Bhagavad Vidhi is those who are in the mood of love. So I will summarize after we finish reading the purport. Continue, Prabhu.
The inhabitants of Vrindavana, the gopis, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaja, the cowherd boys, the cows and everyone else are actually on the Raga Marga or Bhagavata Marga platform. They participate in 5 basic rasas: Dasya, Shakya Rasa, Vatshalya, Madhurya, and Santa. But although these 5 rasas are found in Bhagavata Marga, the Bhagavata Marga is especially meant for Vatshalya and Madhurya, or paternal or conjugal relationships. Yet there is a Vishralamba Shakya, the higher fraternal worship of the Lord, especially enjoyed by the cowherd boys. Although there is friendship between Krishna and the cowherd boys, this friendship is different from the Aishwarya friendship between Krishna and Arjuna. When Arjuna saw the Vishwarupa, the gigantic universal form of the Lord, he was afraid for having treated Krishna as an ordinary friend. Therefore, he begged Krishna's pardon. However, the cowherd boys who are friends of Krishna at Vrindavana sometimes ride on the shoulders of Krishna. They treat Krishna equally, just as they treat one another, and they are never afraid of him, nor do they ever beg his pardon. Thus, the Raga Marga or Bhagavata Marga friendships exist on a higher platform with Krishna, namely the platform of Vipralamba friendship. Paternal friendship, paternal service, and conjugal service are visible in Vrindavana Raga Marga relationships. Without serving Krishna according to Vidhi Marga regulative principles of the Pancharatrika Vidhi, unscrupulous persons want to jump immediately to the Raga Marga principles. Such persons are called Sahajya. There are also demons who enjoy depicting Krishna and these pastimes with the gopis, taking advantage of Krishna by their licentious character. These demons who print books and write lyrics on the Raga Marga principles are surely on the way to hell. Unfortunately, they lead others down with them. Devotees in Krishna consciousness should be very careful to avoid such demons. One should strictly follow the Vidhi Marga regulative principles in the worship of Lakshmi Narayana. Although the Lord is present in the temple as Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna includes Lakshmi Narayana. Therefore, when one worships the Lord according to the regulative principles, the Lord accepts the service in the role of Lakshmi Narayana. The nectar of devotion, full instructions are given about the Vidhi Marga worship of Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Narayana. Although there are 64 kinds of offenses one can commit in Vidhi Marga worship, in Raga Marga worship, there is no consideration of such offenses because the devotees on the platform are very much elevated and there is no question of offense. But if we do not follow the regulative principles in the Vidhi Marga platform and keep our eyes trained to spot offenses, we will not make progress.
All right. So let me explain some key points from the purport about the differences between Pancharatrika and Bhagavad Vidhi. So generally the worship of the Lord begins with the worship of Narayan or Vishnu, whereas the worship of Sri Radha Krishna is most confidential. Lord Narayan is worshipable by the Pancharatrika Vidhi or the regulative principles, whereas Krishna is worshipable by the Bhagavad Vidhi. No one can worship the Lord in the Bhagavad Vidhi without going through the regulations of Pancharatrika Vidhi. So neophyte devotees, they worship the Lord according to Pancharatrika Vidhi or regulative principles, which are described in Narad Pancharatra. Radha Krishna worship cannot be approached by neophyte devotees. Therefore, temple worship is according to regulative principles. They are offered to Lakshmi Narayan. Although the Archa Vigraha form is of Radha Krishna, but the neophyte is actually offering to Lakshmi Narayan. Radha Krishna form includes the forms of Lakshmi Narayan. So worshipping according to Pancharatrika Vidhi is called the Vidhi Marg. And worshipping according to Bhagavat Vidhi is called the Raga Marg. The Rag Marg, or those who are in the mood of love, is specially meant for devotees who are at the Vrindavan platform, such as the gopis, Mother Yashoda, Nand Maharaj, the cowherd boys. All these are on the Rag Marg or Bhagavad Marg platform. And although there are 5 rasas, being Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, and Shant, but the Bhagavad Marg is specially meant for Vatsalya and Madhurya rasas. Vatsalya is parental and Madhurya is conjugal relationship. And Prabhupada gives the comparison between the Pancharatrika and the Bhagavad, that when Arjuna saw the universal form, he became afraid that he treated Krishna as ordinary and he asked for forgiveness from Krishna. Why? Because he is in Pancharatrika Vidhi, following rules and regulations. He's not in the mood of love. Arjuna is in the mood of awe and reverence. However, the cowherd boys, the friends of Krishna in Vrindavan, they defeat Krishna in a fight and then ask Krishna to carry the cowherd boys on his shoulders. But they don't ask for any forgiveness because the cowherd boys treat Krishna equally. They eat with him and treat everything equally. They are not afraid, like how Arjuna was afraid. So this Rag Marg or Bhagavad Marg or the friendship exists at a higher platform, which is Vipralamba friendship. Friendship in separation. So we have discussed in Nectar of Devotion 64 offenses. So those are under Vidhi Marg. Under Rag Marg, there is no question of offenses. They treat Krishna equally. Under regulative principles is when we keep an eye for offenses. But Prabhupada clearly explained that you cannot artificially jump to Bhagavad Vidhi. You have to first go through the regulative principles and then come to Bhagavad Vidhi. Questions, comments, realizations? All right. So rest of the verses till 53 are straightforward, describing the various components of Lord's body as well as various points. Verse 47, 48 are on Lord's ever increasing beauty. Uncle, 47, 48 translation.
Hare Krishna. Text 47 and 48. The Lord is super excellently beautiful on account of his open and merciful smile and his sidelong glance upon his devotees. His black hair is curly and his garments waving in the wind. appear like flying saffron pollen from lotus flowers. His glittering earrings, shinings, helmet, bangles, garlands, ankle belts, waist belt, and various other bodily ornaments combined with the conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower to increase the natural beauty of the Kastuba pearl of his chest. Hare Krishna.
So straightforward, beautiful points. Next time you go take darshan, you will notice all these, or you should, if you have not already noticed. Verse 49 is on the Lord's shoulder and the chest, and verse 50 is on Lord's navel and belly, and verse 51 is on Lord's lower body. Mother Chandra Aunty, 49, 50, 51 translation.
Next one.
Unmute and speak, please. Sorry, I must have muted you wrongly.
You read this. Go ahead.
We cannot hear you. Can you use your other speaker?
Open சொல்லுங்க daddy. You tell.
Now we can hear.
Now you can hear Prabhu.
Yeah, uncle, you can mute your side, and auntie can read.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Read.
Text 41. The Lord very high.
Okay, there is echo. You are sitting very close to each other. You will have to separate.
One moment.
Gopal Prabhu, go ahead. 49 to 51 translations, please.
Prabhuji, she is ready now. 49.
49 to 51.
Okay. Text 49. The Lord has shoulders just like a lion's. Upon these shoulders are garlands, necklaces, and epaulets, and all of these are always glittering. Besides these, there is the beauty of the Kaustuba money, pearl, and on the dark chest of the Lord there are streaks named Srivatsa, which are signs of the goddess of fortune. The glittering of these streaks excels the beauty of the golden streaks on the gold testing stone. Indeed, such beauty defeats a gold testing stone. Text 50, translation. The Lord's abdomen is the beautiful due to these ripples in the flesh. Being so round, his abdomen resembles the leaf of the banyan tree. And when he exhales and inhales, the movement of the ripples appears very, very beautiful. The coils within the navel of the Lord are so deep that it appears that the entire universe sprouted out of it and yet again wishes to go back. Text 51. The lower part of the Lord's waist is dark and covered with yellow garment, and a belt bedecked with the golden embroidered work. His symmetrical lotus feet and the calves, thighs, and the joints of his legs are extraordinarily beautiful. Indeed, the Lord's entire body appears to be well built. Text 52. Translation. My dear Lord, your two lotus feet are so beautiful that they appear like two blossoming petals of the lotus flowers, which grows during the autumn season. Indeed, the nails of your lotus feet emanate such a great effulgence that they immediately dissipate all the darkness in the heart of the conditioned soul. My dear Lord, kindly show me that form of yours which always dissipates all kinds of darkness in the heart of the devotee. My dear Lord, you are the supreme spiritual master of everyone. Therefore, all conditioned souls covered with the darkness of ignorance can be enlightened by you as the spiritual master. Correction.
So this verse number 52 is on the Lord's lotus feet, and 53 describes the result of meditation on Lord's form. Uncle can read 53.
Prabhuji, may I read 53?
Yes.
Correct.
Hare Krishna. Text 53. My dear Lord, those who desire to purify their existence must always engage in meditation upon your lotus feet, as described above. Those who are serious about executing the occupational duties and who want freedom from fear must take to this process of Bhakti Yoga. Hare Krishna.
Questions, comments, realizations? All right. So 54 to 59 verses describe that bhakti is the topmost path. Verse 54 says, Lord is attainable only by bhakti. And verse 55 describes the rarity of bhakti. Sridhar Prabhu, 54, 55 translation.
My dear Lord, the King in charge of the heavenly kingdom is also desirous of obtaining the ultimate goal of life, devotional service. Similarly, you are the ultimate destination of those who identify themselves with you, Aham Brahmasmi. However, it is very difficult for them to attain you, whereas a devotee can very easily attain your Lordship. 55 translation. My dear Lord, pure devotional service is even difficult for liberated persons to discharge. But devotional service alone can satisfy you. Who will take to other processes of self-realization if he is actually serious about the perfection of life? Hare Krishna.
And verse number 56 describes that time or death cannot touch a devotee, as well as this verse 56 purport describes that what influence does time have on the karmis, jnanis, and bhaktas. Gopal Prabhu, 56 translation.
Hare Krishna. Text 56. Simply by expansion of his eyebrows, invisible time personified can immediately vanquish the entire universe. However, formidable time does not approach the devotee who has taken complete shelter at your lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
So The purport is important. In essence of time, we'll skip reading the purports right now. You are anyway going to be having a spiritual endeavor for this verse. I will briefly describe. The purport Prabhupada describes that time cannot touch a devotee, as well as for karmis and jnanis, time takes away everything. That Lord in the shape of death takes away everything that is created by the conditioned soul. However, all the strength of time cannot hamper the activities of a devotee, because the devotee takes complete shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. All the activities of the karmis and jnanis, which have no touch of devotional service, they are all spoiled in due course of time. The material successes of the karmis is destined to be destroyed. Similarly, the impersonal realization of jnanis is also destroyed in course of time. The jnanis undergo so much severe austerities to attain the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, but because they do not have bhakti at the lotus feet of the Lord, they fall down into material existence even after attaining Brahman effulgence. Prabhupada says that without devotional service, there is no guarantee of liberation. Even though one may be elevated to heaven or to impersonal Brahman effulgence, without devotional service, they fall down. But for a devotee, whatever the devotee achieves, nothing is lost by time, because the devotee continues devotional service from where he left off. The next three verses, give me a couple extra minutes and we'll finish these next three verses. The next three verses, 57 to 59, are on devotee association. So verse 57 describes the power of devotee association. Verse 58 says association with devotees is the Lord's real mercy. And verse 59 states, devotee is unagitated as well as he is absorbed in the Lord. Shivangi, 57 to 59 translations.
Hare Krishna. If one by chance associates with a devotee even for a fraction of a moment, he no longer is subject to attraction by the results of karma or jnana. What interest then can he have in the benedictions of the demigods, who are subject to the laws of birth and death? My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the cause of all auspicious things and the destroyer of all the contamination of sin. I therefore beg your Lordship to bless me by the association of your devotees who are completely purified by worshipping your lotus feet and who are so merciful upon the conditioned souls. I think that your real benediction will be to allow me to associate with such devotees. The devotee whose heart has been completely cleansed by the process of devotional service and who is favored by Bhakti Devi does not become bewildered by the external energy, which is just like a dark well. Being completely cleansed of all material contamination in this way, a devotee is able to understand very happily your name, fame, form, activities, etc.
Any questions, comments, realizations before I give you spiritual endeavor questions? All right, question number 1. List the 6 kinds of transformations that agitate conditioned souls. Comes from verse 34. Second, explain the difference between Pancharatrika and Bhagavad Vidhi. Comes from 45-46. Number 3, What influence does time have on karmis, jnanis, and bhaktas? Comes from verse number 56. For next class, read rest of chapter 24 if you have not already read. So we will aim to finish chapter 24 at our next class. And on the screen, I have the presentation schedule. There are a couple of boxes, slots open, which are highlighted in yellow. Otherwise, many devotees, almost all of you, have made the selections. Thank you. We are just past 12 noon here in Toronto. We will stop here. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.